The radio crackles. A voice comes through, thin and warped, like it's traveling through water instead of air. It says 3 words. We see you. You didn't turn the radio on. It's been off for 6 years. But first, let's see how you got here. You took the job because nobody else wanted it. A lighthouse on a stretch of coastline shipping abandoned in the 80s, back when they rerouted the channel and left this rock to the gulls. The pay is modest. The isolation is total. Nearest town is a 2-hour boat ride, and the supply run only comes once a month. You liked the idea of that. Quiet. No people, no noise. Just the light, the sea, and you. The first few weeks are exactly what you expected. You learn the rhythm of the place, wind up the mechanism at dusk, check the lens for salt buildup, log the weather, sleep to the sound of waves hitting rock. There's a strange peace in it. You start to understand why keepers used to do this for decades. The isolation isn't lonely, it's simplifying. You find the logbooks in a cupboard in the tower, decades of them, going back to when the lighthouse still mattered, when ships actually used this channel. You read them some nights out of boredom. Weather reports, supply notes, the occasional keeper's complaint about the cold. Then you notice something. Every logbook, no matter the year, no matter the keeper, has the exact same entry on the same date every year, October 14th. And every entry says the same 4 words. The ships came back. You assume it's some kind of tradition, a joke passed keeper to keeper. You laugh it off and keep reading. It's September when the fog starts. Not ordinary fog, fog that rolls in without wind, without warning, and doesn't move the way fog should. It sits on the water in a straight line, like a wall, exactly where the old shipping channel used to run. You check the weather logs. Nothing predicted it. You check again the next day. It's back. Same shape, same place. You radio the mainland to report it. Static. You try again. Static. The radio hasn't worked reliably in weeks. You'd chalked it up to old equipment, salt damage, budget cuts, on maintenance. Now you're not so sure that's all it is. October arrives, and you find yourself checking the calendar more than you'd like to admit. October 14th is 9 days away. You tell yourself the logbook thing is nothing. Coincidence? Superstition? A strange keeper's ritual with no real explanation. You've read enough of these logs to know isolated people make patterns out of nothing. That's what solitude does to a mind. 3 nights before the 14th, you're winding the mechanism at dusk when you hear it. A horn. Deep, mournful, unmistakably a ship's horn, the old kind, the kind vessels haven't used since before you were born. It comes from directly out at sea, from inside the fog wall, which has crept closer than it's ever been. You grab the binoculars. You see nothing. The fog swallows everything past 100 yards. But the horn sounds again, closer this time, and you feel it in your chest more than you hear it. You don't sleep that night. You sit in the tower with the light turning overhead, watching the fog, waiting for something that doesn't come. The next night, it happens again. Same horn, same direction, closer still. This time you see something, a shape, barely visible through the fog, the unmistakable silhouette of a ship's bow, moving slow, moving steady, moving directly toward the rocks below your lighthouse. You do what you're trained to do. You check the light. It's working. It's turning. It's doing exactly what it's supposed to do, guiding anyone in that channel safely around the rocks. The shape doesn't turn. It keeps coming. You radio for help out of pure instinct, though you already know the radio's dead. Static, then. For the first time in 6 years, a voice comes through. Thin, warped. It says 3 words. We see you. You drop the receiver. When you pick it back up, there's nothing. Just static. Same as always. The shape in the fog stops just short of the rocks. It simply stops, sitting motionless in water that shouldn't allow a ship that size to sit still without drifting. You watch it for hours. It doesn't move. The horn doesn't sound again. By morning, it's gone. The fog is gone with it. The sea looks exactly like it did the day you arrived. You go back to the logbooks. You find something you missed before a note tucked in the back of the oldest one, in handwriting shakier than the rest, from a keeper decades ago. It doesn't explain what the ships are. It just says, they don't want to hurt you. They want you to see them. That's all any of us ever wanted here, to be seen by someone who's still looking. October 14th arrives. You don't sleep. You sit in the tower from dusk onward, watching the water, and just after midnight, the fog rolls in exactly like before the wall. The stillness, the wrongness of it. The horn sounds. Then another, then a third, layered, coming from different points along the fog line, like an entire fleet is sitting out there in formation, waiting. You do the only thing you know how to do. You keep the light turning. You keep it exactly the way it's supposed to be. Exactly the way every keeper before you kept it. Exactly the way the ships out there might still be looking for 40 years after anyone stopped sending them a reason to look. Just before dawn, the fog pulls back all at once, like a held breath finally released. The horns stop. The sea goes calm and ordinary and entirely, completely empty, the way it's supposed to be. You go back to your logbook. You write the date. You write the same 4 words every keeper before you wrote, because now you understand they weren't a tradition or a joke. They were true every single time, for as long as anyone's kept this light. The ships came back. You close the book. You look out at the empty water, calm under a gray morning sky, and you understand something about this job you didn't understand when you took it. You didn't come here to escape people. You came here to keep a promise nobody else was left to keep, that no matter how long it's been since anyone needed the light, you'd still turn it on. And somewhere out past the edge of what makes sense, something has been waiting 40 years to see that promise kept. You wind the mechanism again at dusk, same as always. And for the first time since you arrived, the silence doesn't feel empty. It feels like being watched by something that's grateful you stayed.